Alright, hey guys, we're back, and today we're going to be making battle chips for the Link PET. We're just doing labels today. The programming should be exactly the same as with the advanced PET. You can do the foil method. Eventually I'm going to do a soldering video, but I'm terrible with soldering, so I don't want to scare you guys away too much. Okay, so real quick, in case you didn't know, this is a Link PET. Hopefully you do know if you're watching this video. And there are a few different sets. And what we're going to be covering today is just how to print the actual labels. So like these little stickers on the actual battle chips themselves. We're not going to be going over programming like I said before, and I'm also not going to be going over how to print labels for the navi chips because those are weirdly angled and stuff. So that's going to be maybe a different video if I can get around to it, but also I don't know how you'd reprogram these, so that would also be an issue. Alright, so the first thing you want to know, just like in all your other videos, is what chip do you want to edit? I decided I'm going to make Muramasa because I don't actually have a Muramasa chip. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and look it up on the battle chips list because for the Link PET they changed around some things. So as you can see, I found it right here, Muramasa. And it says the class is the standard chip in this set, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So that means we'll need to go, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and find a standard chip template. We can use any of these. Let's just pick this one. So we're going to work with this chip right here, and we're going to find the picture on this other link. I'll have both these links down below. Let me move these chips. And hit Control F and find it. Muramasa. Alright, I don't think they're going to give us a bigger picture. Nope, but that's fine. So just click, go over here, go back to here, right click and say copy image. And then you can use whatever photo editor you want to do this. I'm just going to use GIMP, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a new layer. You don't have to make a new layer if you don't want to, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to select where I want it to go, so I don't have to worry about pasting someplace else. Paste it, and next thing you're going to do is click this rotate button over here, and rotate it -90 degrees. -90. You can do this in Photoshop. Photoshop's fine. Alright, now we're going to make this window a little bit bigger so you guys who aren't watching in full screen can actually see. Though you should watch in full screen. Alright, and now we're going to use the scale tool to scale it to fit the box. You want it to be a little bit bigger than the box. You see how there's a little corner there? You want it to go over the corner so you'll be able to cut off a tiny bit when the time comes. But for the sides that don't have weird cutoff corners, you just want to match it as best as you can. If you have to go over the black a little bit, you just don't want anything leaking through from underneath. So you see here that I'm going over just a tiny bit because you can still see the yellow bleeding through. And that should be good. So alright, now we got it in there. Go ahead and we can anchor it down to our layer if we want. And that's what the chip would look like. It's a standard class chip. We could have moved it up a little bit more. As you can see, right before the edge is a little bit brighter. But that should be fine. The reason why I was making a separate layer is so I can see where the cutoff points are. When I make this layer invisible, I can see there's a cutoff point there and there. So I'm just going to use the lasso tool to trace around where the cutoffs were. Then when I bring this layer back up, I can just simply make sure it's selected and then press delete, and there we go. We have our cutoffs on each side, so that makes it look a little bit better. Now to make it blend in with the rest, I'm going to add some Rgb noise. If you don't want noise and you want to make your chip look super sharp, that's fine, but I found that it looks better when everything looks uniform. So on the layer, if you have multiple things on the same layer, you'll want to select specifically what you want to change. But since this layer is dedicated to just Muramasa, it's fine. We go to filters, noise, and Rgb noise. It may be a little bit different on Photoshop, but you just want to add some noise to it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we'll change this to, I think it's 0.08 is what we used last time. Unfortunately, my scanner is not the best, so all these images have noise in them. So what we're doing is we're making the picture that we copied off the internet have the same amount of graininess as the background. So when it prints out, everything look pretty much the same. There you go. Now it looks grainy. We actually made it look worse, but that's okay because that's what we want. See, now it kind of blends in a little bit more. Alright, for the actual text itself, that is a little bit more difficult. You can leave it the way it is, but I would say if you really want to, you can go back to this website and copy the text right here and you can print it out, although it doesn't actually look neat at all when you do this. So we just paste it in the GIMP. We can make it bigger, we can make it bolder, you can change the font, see bold, but matching that font will not be easy. So if you wanted to, you could do something like that. Let's get some of this background out. So what you want to do is you want to be on your main layer, and the easiest way to do this is just to copy a part of the background that does not have any text and paste it, and then you can just drag it down, paste it again, drag it down, paste it again, drag it down, and boom, the label's gone. Alright, and then you can just blur this if you want. Select the part you want to blur and do filter blur, blur. Looks a little bit weird, but it's now gone. Alright, so for element, you can pick any of these. I think, okay, so sword is null, so we're just going to copy this. Remember, we're on the layer with the battle chip, not the layer that we were working with. I lost it. And we have Yugi chips on here too, so that's nice. Okay, here we go. So we just paste it right over top of the old element. Did I actually put all the elements in here? I don't remember. I got water. I don't have any fire. Maybe I don't have any. Okay, here we go. Fire, electric, water, and grass. I think that's everything. Alright, so you go back down to your layer, and now what we're going to do is do another text layer like I showed before. Just try to get it as best as you can. Go ahead and back to the page and copy it again. Actually, I think... Okay, they don't have it here, so... Copy the katakana from this page, paste it in here, find a nice font. I think I like source heavy bold. That looks pretty nice, I guess. Make it more bold, and that's not bold enough actually. Let's try system. Okay, that looks pretty good. If you need to, you can move it out of the way. Just try to make it about as big as that would be. Again, if you can find a better font, that's actually better, but I can't find one. Alright, so when you're done with that, what you want to do is do discard text information. Then you want to do layer to image size. Then all you got to do is, when you're on this layer, it will be labeled. Let's go ahead and highlight wherever your text is. Mine's covered up a little bit, but I know where it ends. Cut it, and then just do paste, and then you can, oops, then just click on any part that's actually black. And then just rotate -90 degrees. But this time you want to put the axis on the far left of your image. That way it will rotate it properly. See how I have it in the bottom left? -90 degrees. Alright, that's not perfect, it's a little bit big. So what you want to do is just move your axis down like here. Then you can angle it just right. Alright, now we gotta scale this down a little bit because it's not actually going to fit. Probably because of the spacing I picked. See how far it is. Okay, it starts right before the, or right after the symbol. And that looks pretty terrible, if I do say so myself. But it'll actually let us have the name. So I just say, if you don't care, just leave whatever katakana name was on there before, just change the symbol. But if you want to make it a little bit bolder, you can do that by select by color, select anything else, and do select, invert, and press delete, and fill in with black. That will give you a nice bolder appearance to your label. But again, it still doesn't look great. So if you can find the actual original katakana for the thing with the original font, that would actually be better. Like if I have a chip that you want to use, just copy it from there. Then you're done. Easy. If not, you can just use this. But again, no matter what you do, unless you have the exact right font, it's not going to look great. So alright, now let's just do one more thing. How far are we in? 9 minutes. Okay, that's longer than I wanted. let's just do a Giga chip. Just double check on this list to see if they have a Forte chip or a base. Alright, scroll down. Okay, so they do have a Forte, and it's a Giga chip. Remember, you don't want to do the Navi chip version. So even when you're programming the chip, we want the Giga chip version. Okay, so they do have a Forte. So let's find out where he is. In here. Okay, so here we go. We have base and base another, or base ally, I believe is what they call it in the US version. So we'll do this one. We're gonna use this one. So again, I clicked that by accident. Copy image. Go up to the Giga section, which is up here. Make a new layer. Transparent. Select where you want it to go. Control V. Rotate. -90. Rotate. Then scale it. Remember, you want to scale it just to where the two lines intersect, so you cover up. So you match up where the corner will be cut off. It looks like this Giga chip's a little bit torn, so you probably should have used this one. But whatever, it's not a big deal. This is just for example. I may redo it later. Alright, and scale it. Anchor it down. Now hide this layer. And select what parts were cut off. As you can see there, I have it, so it should highlight the parts that need to be removed. Turn the layer back on, make sure it's selected, and make sure this window is selected, and press delete. And there we go. I think I trimmed a little bit too far. As you can see, I went outside, so let's try this again. Alright. Turn it back on. So it looks like we're cutting off a little bit too much, but alright. And there we go. You have base in here, and it looks like I'm not sure if we're cut off a little bit or just a little bit transparent. But if you want, you can scale it down a little bit more. I think this is okay. Then we're going back to filter. Make sure this layer is selected, and if you have more than one thing on the same layer, you want to highlight only what you want to edit. If it's on its own layer, you don't have to do that. But anyway, filter, noise, and Rgb noise, and 0.08, 0.08, 0.08. Press OK, and now it's blurred in with everything else. And the nice thing about Link PET chips is there is no back, so pretty much we're done here. So all you have to do is just same thing as we did before. Make a new layer, make it completely white. Put it at the very top. Then when you turn it off, find what you want to print. Highlight it. If you want to print two things, I'll show you that later. Don't worry about it. If you want, just highlight what you want to print out. Click on this layer. If it helps, make it visible. Then with this thing still selected, just press delete, and boom, that part's cut out. Now we find out what else we want to keep, which is this. Highlight it using the square tool if I didn't say that before. Click back on here, make it visible if you want, and just press delete. And now if we zoom out, we have the two chips we want to print. If you want to print more chips, just keep cutting out more spots for more chips. But now we have these two chips on our paper, and they're formatted to fit a normal 8.5 by 11 US letter paper. If you have different size paper, then I'm sorry, you'll have to tell it to print to a different size. But yeah, so everything that's on here should print out just fine. Now all you gotta do is I suggest saving this first, like if you want to, edit it later or do something else. But next thing you want to do is just go to print, And under image setup, which is over here, you want to make sure it says the 8.5 by 11 and ignore page margins. And all this stuff should be at center both. And make sure it says 8.5 by 11. And then all these should have zeros in them. Left 0, right 0, up 0, down 0. Resolution will be 300 by 300 because it's 300 dpi. And then you'll be good to go. All you have to do is click print, and it should print out for you, and everything should be perfectly sized. Then all you have to do is just cut out this little square and paste it on your battle chip. And hopefully you'll have it, and once you have it reprogrammed, you'll be good to go. Alright, so the only other things you need to keep in mind is some of them are Mega class chips, but that's normally just for Navi chips. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the Navis who are not base, and I'll show you what I mean real quick, since we're already over 15 minutes. How did that happen? Okay, so let's just look for a Mega. Alright, so here you go. Double Beast is a Mega class chip, and this is a Mega class chip. Colonel EX is a Mega class chip. So many other Mega class chips. So basically, if you look up your chip and it says this, that means it's Mega class. But pretty much everything else has been made standard. Like Muramasa is made standard with Super Vulcan. Super Vulcan's been made standard. This is actually a promotional chip. So if you want to use a chip and make it look like it's a promotional chip, you can use this template because it says not for sale on it. So that's just a little extra thing I added in. Alright, sorry for making this video super long, but I hope it was detailed enough for all of you. I have a few images in here. If you just want any of these chips, you can pretty much just print that out and use that as a template. By the time you guys see this video, this template should be up, and I'll be working on the programming database throughout the day. I haven't cracked any of these open yet, so I'm not really looking forward to that. But anyway, I hope this helped you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.